Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, we must first determine which groups would benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the Satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. So you are to visit Akyali and Yedlamad. Yedlamad. Made the same mistake when I was playing the game. First time. Speak with Matsya and his people and listen to their grievances. Stina, I bid you do the same to Palaka's stand. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megaduda. Oh, Stella, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat, then? Yes. Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose Kalzal's loss hit us the hardest. Oh, right. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. I mean, I feel like they need to start like a merchant's guild. Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Thavnair, then you must try my special Amra Lassi. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles of the generous price, 19,800 gil. But for you, I'm willing to go as low as an even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. Don't turn your profit. Times are harsh, my friend. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices, I tell you. If I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. So, the economy is dead, and we need to find a way to... to start trading internationally again, which doesn't help when most of the nearby everything is dead. The Empire's dead, and trade is difficult. That's tricky. How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger has passed, certainly, but no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Oof. And to add to that, the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's a little wonder the flow of exports is more than a pitiful trickle. If Kalzal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now, that was a man who got things done, God rest his soul. It seemed my stint on Richard's back did not go unnoticed. I couldn't take 2 steps before another Thavnarian was thanking me profusely for saving their home. Well, maybe you shouldn't be wearing your armor. Ah, my advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Yeah, because it draws a lot of attention, Estinian. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say at the least, and there are few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palaka's stand were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yedlamad. Ah, goodness. Pronunciation. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Palaka's stand has weathered a disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnair has gone light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated. Its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to that flow of trade so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akiali and Yedlamad? I mean, pretty much the same thing. I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yedlamad. I'm reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the bees sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome, but we will not. Stella, Stinian, and I will consider the perspectives you've brought me, and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. It's big.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society.
Man, I hope he gets better. That looks like it hurts.
Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Remember what the options were. that's true. I forgot. I forgot I did that.
Of course. We can draw on trading profits to build a new institution.
I forgot I single-handedly did that in the span of... must have been like a week.
Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage.
That feels fair.
Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Name it after Ahuan. I feel like that's the only option here. Or Kazal, I guess. I would name it after Ahuan, but I mean, Kazal's fine.
A successful merchant. I believe I see thy reasoning.
Yeah, I guess a guy who's in economics makes a little bit more sense.
Kazal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Murad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation.
Nice.
Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Silver piece. Richo's warming to his role as Sawtrap. Clearly all those years behind the curtain were not spent napping. A lot of cutscenes. Ah yes, the bittersweet song. Thank you for putting forth Kazal's name. Those whose lives you enrich will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. I'll be honest, during Endwalker, I didn't really feel a whole lot for Kazal, which I kinda feel bad for how much we're focusing on him, but he just seemed kinda like another guy. You forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Ishtola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Oh no. Understood, thank you. Ishtola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Already? Man, she works fast! Jeez! Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. Yeah, that's good. Probably for the best. I thought the saw trap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Aho-Wan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. And I'm curious to learn what conclusion your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish, allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency.
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening.
Okay.
For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
Ishtola, didn't you say you wouldn't consider trying to open it? Why are you trying to do that now?
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Did someone contact her?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics.
Oh no, she's reading us her scholarly article. Oh god.
From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them.
Yes.
Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first.
You fall through all the crystals and through time and space.
You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world.
So if we put a doodad through the rift, we could then focus on that doodad and open a gateway to the 13th. Is that what we're getting at? It was big enough for a focus to fit through.
The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness.
Yeah, it was full of memories, actually.
In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first.
Right.
The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Is it implying that there's a force that exists to let us travel between shards?
Then what of the many voidsent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
Huh.
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical.
Okay.
For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
We're getting a PowerPoint presentation? This music. Oh, okay, so it wasn't Asians, it was just random dudes.
To call upon such an entity, The prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact.
But they have vessels, with gargoyles at least.
Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner.
Where is this? Am I missing like a zone? Where is this? Oh, is this supposed to be the void?
Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first.
So this is the void, and there's monsters in the back that look fairly unique. Those things with the bound arms, I don't know if I've ever seen them before. And the things with behemoths.
And just as our bodies remained in our world, the voidsent's physical form is left behind in the 13th.
Okay. Again, they possess a vessel like these statues.
Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
I haven't heard this music in
Wait.
forever.
You said that voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
Well, that makes traveling to the 13th very difficult, doesn't it? Unless we are summoned here by, you know, Shadow Armor and the Funky Bunch.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
Is it because since the 13th is like full of darkness, and darkness is like the essence of like activity and like active energy, that it's just super like unstable?
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No, the danger is too great.
She was planning to go through.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Is she actually gonna try to dive through?
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death.
I know what we're doing in 6.2.
But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved. Since when were you one for the quiet life? Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single voidsent will be allowed to threaten Radzat, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan?
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daymir was overseeing the project.
Daymir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a voidsent which had slipped through the fissure.
It took it alive?
After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities.
Whoa!
A man-made voidsent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
Oh my goodness. Radzat does nothing but create homunculus. Like, jeez. They just made a voidsent?
A man-made voidsent?
Yeah, exactly. What the heck?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daymir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
Okay.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
Back to Numenon. Graw's favorite place to sneak around.
Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy.
Yeah, but how are we gonna get Fortuno to let us look in there?
In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Okay, bye, Estinian.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves. See myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Estinian's such a nice guy. Going to help the kids. He sees himself in all the orphans.
Let us be on our way as well.
It is a very good character, like, characterization right there. Reacher's like, these two are a problem.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Man, we gave him hope. We gave him back hope. Oh, it's bad.